Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Best game ever? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, hold on. Shoot. Sign in. I thought it would have left me signed in. So I gotta get my chat back on screen because the game did the same thing like the game yesterday. Removing. Oh man. What do you do? Minimize. Okay, settings. Let's make sure it seems to be the right resolution. Settings. Screen. Yeah, full screen. Okay. Here. The only problem with exclusive full screen. Gotta wait for it to do its thing. Alright. Put that up. I don't know why this stuff all got minimized. Get chat back. Alright. Stay. 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 And I think we're good. Okay. Um, how do we start something? Was it this? Like, how do I go back to like the? Uh,
Welcome to Train Sim World, an immersive and highly detailed rail simulation featuring authentic routes and trains from around the world. This is the Training Center. Here you can learn about how to navigate and interact with the world, as well as how to operate the many trains. Let's start by looking around. Find each of the markers and look at them.
if you found yourself looking up when you wanted to look down, you could turn it down.
Your current objective is shown at the top left of the screen. Walk to the blue marker to complete the current objective. You've been awarded some action points. These are displayed in the top right corner of the screen and count towards your overall experience level for the game. This is one of the many types of route tasks to be discovered. Keep an eye out for many more types and styles of route tasks, which can involve placing, collecting, or fixing a variety of things.
Down the one. Can't turn it down anymore.
Head into the main
I mean, is it using this for some reason?
building, and you'll continue
No,
your induction there.
just gonna have to be super. Man, this guy's fat. Oh, okay, because it's on always sprint. Alright.
You can pause Train Sim World at any point to review objectives and a lot of other information about what's happening at the moment. Try it now, and then return to the game after you've had a look around. Now that we've covered some of the basics of moving around and interacting with the environment, let's take a walk through the building and find the trains.
Range.
This is Central Square. From here, you can explore the main training center depot and surrounding yards.
Get back to work.
Your journey operating trains is just getting started here in the training center. Remember, you can... This module will cover the on-screen overlay, known as the heads-up display or HUD, that is shown when you are in control
Looks
of a
nice.
train. Climb up the ladder into the locomotive and then sit in the seat. Welcome to the most important seat in the train. While sitting here, you'll be in full control. Before you think about moving the train, though, let's
We got
look
a
at the
coffee
HUD
maker or
overlay
something?
that's appeared on the bottom right. The heads-up display is a guide to what your train is doing. The main part of the HUD is the speed display. A white bar will appear around the outside to show your current speed, and the red mark indicates your maximum permitted speed. This is the direction display. An arrow will indicate forward, reverse, and neutral directions. This is the power display. A number will indicate what position the power or throttle control is in. These are the brake indicators. The exact ones shown will vary by train and will often be visible in the train itself on various gauges. They tell you what's happening in the braking system. The most important one is the BC or brake cylinder. If that's reading 0, then your brakes are released. Anything else, and brakes are applied and you won't be able to move. Every train can have small variations in the HUD unique to the way it works, but they will mostly look the same. As you learn to control new trains, study the HUD and learn how it helps you operate it. If you want to see this again, you can rerun this training module at any time. In this training module, you're going to look at making the train move, and then bringing it to a stop again. While many trains have different controls and are operated in different ways, there are basically always 3 controls that are common and are required to move the train. The reverser sets the direction between forwards and backwards. The brakes are used to slow or stop the train. The throttle controls how fast the train accelerates. We want to move the train forwards, so move the reverser in that direction. Keep the brake control and release until you can see the brake pipe control needles are reading 5 bar, pointing upwards. This will release the brakes fully. Watch the brake cylinder, or BC gauge, to see it gradually reduce to 0, which tells you that the brakes are now fully released and you can move the train. Apply some throttle to get the train moving.
Hey.
As you apply power, notice the amp bar rising. This is the amount of power being fed into the traction motors. Now that you've reached your target speed, you can move the throttle control back to 0. The train will then coast on level ground, and the train will only slow down very gradually. While the specifics of operating brakes vary from train to train, the basic process of stopping is fundamentally the same. Bring this train to a complete stop by holding the brake control in the apply state until you see the brake pipe control needle in the center of your cab desk showing about 4 bar. The amount of braking you'll need to apply also varies depending on whether you're going uphill or downhill, and how heavy your train is. Stopping a train is one of the biggest challenges of controlling them, particularly stopping them in the right place. That concludes this module. Restart the module to learn the steps again, or move on to the next module.
Oh. Maybe.
This module will go over the fundamentals of operating junctions to change the path your train will take, and how to navigate using the map. Most rail lines around the world are controlled remotely by a signaling center or dispatcher. From the perspective of the train, the direction taken is automatic. But within yards and depots, many small and frequent movements are required. This makes remote control of the track impractical. In these locations, the direction taken is manually controlled. You can set junctions by either walking up to them and interacting with them, or going to the 2D map and changing them from there. Let's change this junction by hand first. Walk over to it and change it by operating the lever. Notice how the point blades move on the track. Try moving it a few more times until you can see how it works. Let's head over to the train, and then we can look at the map.
So I guess we want to go this way. What it's telling me. Okay, I accessed it. Now what? What do you want from me? Oh.
Your junctions are set correctly. Let's get the train moving and see it all working. If you can't remember how to make the train start and stop, there is a training module you can rerun to remind yourself. Keep the brake
So,
control and release until you can see the brake pipe control needles are reading 5 bar. Watch the brake cylinder, or BC gauge, to see it gradually reduce to 0, which tells you that the brakes are now fully released and you can move the train. Apply some throttle to get the train moving. Now that you've reached your target speed, you can move the throttle control back to 0. The train will then coast on level ground, and the train will only slow down very gradually.
probably pull the horn.
Bring this train to a complete stop by holding the brake control in the apply state until you see the brake pipe control needle in the center of your cab desk showing about 4 bar. That concludes this module. All the junctions in the training center are manual, so you can go anywhere you wish using the map and by changing junctions manually. If you want to practice, go to Explore on Foot in the training center. You'll find trains dotted around, and you can practice driving them and moving them around the yard. Don't forget, you can always rerun this training module later if you can't remember any of what's been covered.
I'm just fixing my Steam overlay thing. Where was that? Make it interface. In-game overlay one, more restore using the scaled Steam overlay text and icons to match monitor settings. There we go. Probably won't take effect until after restarting the game, though. I bet. Okay. Where to next? Return on training center. Look, main menu. Sweet. Let me restart really quick, just to fix the Steam overlay. Hopefully, it goes smoothly. Yep. I wonder if that's what was breaking that. Okay. So now, is there like, I mean, is there like some kind of like mission or something? Like tasks. Huh?
In this training module, you will be taken through the operation of this Class 66 locomotive. During this brief introduction, you will be covering the critical driving controls and freight operations. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started.
Two doors.
You need to insert the reverser first, and then you can move it forwards to set the direction of travel.
Well, then we reset the reversory.
Set the headlights to let others around us know this train is operational.
Top bite. What? I can cook. Still don't like the sensitivity. Has to be something. I mean, is this doing anything? Damn. I mean, mouse cursor's good. I guess I could turn the sensitivity down on my... Turn the DPI down. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
The direct brake has 3 positions: apply, hold, and release. They're directly affecting the brake cylinder pressure, shown on the left-hand side of the desk or on your HUD under the BC entry. While in the apply state, the brake cylinder or BC gauge will fill, meaning more and more brakes are being applied. Move the handle to the hold position to maintain the same level of braking, and back to the release position to reduce or completely release the brakes. The direct brake is used to apply the brakes only on your locomotive and are faster to apply and release than the main brakes. If you're only running as a light locomotive, as you are now, it's usually quicker to just use these brakes. Now, the brakes on this train require us to hold the brake handle in the release position. You can monitor the state of the brakes using the larger brake pipe control gauge in the centre. Now keep the brake control in release until you can see the brake pipe control needles are reading 5 bar pointing upwards. This will release the brakes fully. Now that the brake pipe control is at 5 bar, the brakes will fully release. Watch the brake cylinder or BC gauge to see it gradually reduce to 0, which tells you that the brakes are now fully released and you can move the train. As you apply power, notice the amp bar rising. This is the amount of power being fed into the traction motors. But try to keep this out of the red, as it means you're overpowering the motors and could damage them. Coasting is a method used to officially maintain speed and reduce motor stress and maintenance requirements. Built in London, Ontario, Canada by EMD, the British Rail Class 66 is a 6-axle diesel-electric locomotive, used primarily for freight operations in the UK. Introduced in 1998, the initial order of 250 locomotives was said to be the biggest single order of a locomotive since the era of steam trains. More than 500 Class 66 locomotives were built, with the final one being delivered in 2016. The Class 66 has earned the nickname Shed because of its shed-like pitched roof. Okay, come to a stop using the direct brake now.
A little closer than that. Wait. You can hold to apply the brake. Oh. So that was an automatic brake. Why is the brake not releasing?
The freight wagons are behind us, so change direction with the reverser, then change the junction indicated, either by walking over to it or using the map.
Apparently, I think it wants me to get out and do it. Or it's because I had to do that first. Where
The
am I?
junction is correctly aligned, so you can now couple up to the freight. Approach slowly and stop just before the buffers. Don't forget to release the direct brake before you apply power.
Okay, so now it will let me use that button now. Okay. Well, what's the difference from the automatic brake? I don't get the automatic versus direct brake.
You can couple and uncouple from either an external camera or on foot. So let's connect the formation using the external camera. Now couple the locomotive to the freight wagons.
Alright. Couple to formation. Alright, well, how do I...
Return to the first person camera.
Okay, well, I couldn't really do that from number 3 anyways.
Nice work. Change direction with the reverser and move the train forward into the indicated siding.
don't get the brake deal.
Remember, you can couple and uncouple from either an external camera or on foot. So let's uncouple from the wagons on foot this time.
That's what I did the first time. She didn't really show me how to do it from the camera.
That concludes this training module.
This is the DBS Class 66 diesel locomotive, nicknamed Shed because of how it looks. This locomotive used to haul aggregates up and down the Great Western Main Line. Today, you're going to learn how to take control of this powerful freight locomotive, start it up, get it moving, and then bring it to a stop. Start by climbing aboard the locomotive. Enter through the cab door in front of you.
Now we can
Take a
grab
look
here.
around, and when you're ready, have a seat in the driver's chair.
Click the right mouse button to switch between mouse look and...
First, you need to get the engine up and running. Start by turning the master key on.
Oh,
Now get the engine started. Set the engine run switch, generator field switch, and the control and fuel pump switch all to on. Here you go. Use the engine start button on the desk. This locomotive uses the EVL braking system. Before we go anywhere, we need to run a quick brake test. First, hold the auto brake handle in the release position until the brake pipe control needle in front of you reaches 5. That means the brakes are completely released. The brakes now need charging, so a full application is needed. This time, hold the auto brake handle in the apply position until the brake pipe control needle is at 3. It looks as though the brakes are working as they should. All you need to do now is fully release the brakes again, so we can get moving. Time to get moving. Turn the headlights and marker lights on.
HUD changed.
Put the train in forward so we're ready to get moving. Now you need to release the last of the brakes, the parking brake. apply some power and get this train moving. Ease the throttle handle into notch 1. I think this is fast enough for now. To maintain our current speed, set the throttle handle back to idle. That's it. Let's bring the train to a gradual stop. Using the auto brake handle in the apply position again, get the brake pipe control needle in front of you to around 4 to apply a gentle application, and then let the brakes do the rest.
Alright, scenarios. Is that saying that it takes like 45 minutes? I don't get the time or a minute. Discharge a brake of hoppers at Hayes Tarmac facility before working the train over to the action yard and preparing it for the journey. Okay.
That was a good run from the West Country, but it's now time to get down to business and unload these wagons. Set up for shunting and reverse the train through the discharge facility to get these wagons unloaded.
Man, how do you move this camera? Toggle front here to boom camera, camera menu, first person, free cam is 8. Move camera backward, forward. Yeah, okay, you gotta do something weird stuff like this, guy. Bell horn? Nope. That's spacebar? Must be spacebar. And what was horn low? No, we're not hearing it. Advanced control. Keyboard. I wonder what bell's gonna be. Control. Horn 2. Horn 1. Yeah, horn 2 didn't do anything. Horn 1 decrease. In. Control. Oh. There's no bell. What that loud of a horn? Can't hear all the way back here? Should be loud now. Do I need to get the front of it in there or just the back? Assuming. Mind. Okay. Sick. Rolls are weird. Wait, what? It's automatically gonna do it? Oh. That's why it told me to set it for 3, I guess.
That was great work. You should get that train over to Acton Yard, where it can be prepared before the return trip to the Mendips.
25 miles per hour. I don't get what the... So now I can go 60. One, not sure what the red one means. No, 60 is going to be coming up in... Huh? Bobet location. Action yard. Reception. I am stopped. Oh, 5.6 miles. I was thinking feet for whatever reason. Alright, so now that I still don't get the mileage thing. Miles per hour. I thought it said I can't go past that red marker, and it's not changing, so... Maybe once I get all the carts, I don't know. Yeah, because now I'm at 85. Now it says 85. But the red symbol still hasn't moved, so I don't get it. Oh, okay. I can crank it up now. Oh, somebody jumped out right now. Oh. I can't. 8 throws up next. Actually, I probably didn't have to slow down to 60 yet. I think the 60's coming up in like 500 feet. Wait a minute. Brett, does that mean I need to stop? Uh-oh.
You'll need to refuel before the return trip, so detach from the wagons and move the locomotive over to the fuel stand.
Barely hear ya. I like the training. Alright, I want to, let me do it from here. Fine. Couple vehicles. 12 vehicles. Well, let me uncouple. Okay. I'm gonna go eat. Alright, let's put on some tunes, go eat, be back. We'll see.